Today, we're going to be making a pot. Chicken bob, chicken and rice. This is going to be a pretty big one. First thing you need you a big pot. If you don't have a big pot, pause the video right now, run out to Tractor Supply, wherever your local market's at, get you a big pot. We'll be here when you get back. We'll wait on you. All right, now that you're back with your big pot, we're going to get the pot hot. I'm going to put a whole stick of butter in this one because we're making a full 5 pounds of rice with about. Next thing we're going to do is add some onions in there. Let them go ahead and be melting. This is one large onion. All right, now that that onion and butter has got to know each other really well and those onions are becoming quite translucent, I'm going to begin to add my meat. Now, how much meat you add is your business. You got to put enough meat in it for people to enjoy it, but this 5 pounds of rice, I'm putting 1.5 pounds of sausage in there. That sausage is going to give it some good flavor. But I'm also putting about 3.5 pounds of chicken in it. So I'm probably going to have as much meat as I got rice. But hey, that's the way I like it. Come on, somebody. Now, I can't stress enough, this right here is the most important part. This is the most important part. We're going to get a little salt, a little bit of black pepper in there, maybe a little bit of more black pepper, and then some more, and a little bit more after that. We'll mix that in good. And I can't stress this enough. I'm going to be back with you in a minute to show you what this looks like, but this is very, very important. What you do right here is going to determine what your chicken and rice tastes like in the end. You can't rush this step. Just because it looks done doesn't mean that it's ready. So we're going to just let this baste. It'll start to produce some liquid. I'm going to add some water in a few minutes. I'll show you that. And we're going to produce a really good roux that's going to make our rice smoky. All right, it's been about, I'd say 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And as you can see, this is really nicely done. The onions are pretty much dissolved and gone away. And we're starting to develop a little gravy here. You could add rice to this right now and begin to cook it. And if you did, it would be good. It would taste good, but it won't be great. And the best thing to do right now is to let this cook down and continue to cook for probably another 15 minutes and really just let those sausage and chicken and onions get to know each other, and you're going to be pleased with the results, I promise you. We'll come back in a few minutes and add some rice. All right, we've been cooking for about another 5 minutes. We're starting to look really good now. And I want you to know I haven't added any fluid to this at all. This is nothing but the juices that came from the butter, the onion, the chicken, the sausage. And I got a right good bit of juice in here. But this is going to be an open cook. In other words, it's not going to be closed up to steam like you would normal rice. So I'm going to add some more water. And I got about a 12-ounce cup of water right here that I'm going to add to this, just to give me a little extra water. And I want that to cook down to about where it was at. And then we're going to add our water, bring it up to a boil. We'll throw our rice in there, and I'll show you what comes next. All right, we're back with you. You see how this is cooked down? Man, that is so tender, it's falling apart. And we have a nice gravy right there that is starting to make. And folks, that looks good. All right, we have a rolling boil happening there. So we're going to add our rice. And like I said, this is 5 pounds of rice. Not that that matters. You're just going to mix your rice and water to a 2-to-1 ratio. And right now it doesn't make any difference whether I stir this constantly or don't stir it constantly. But once that rice begins to crack, now listen to me careful, folks, this is very important. Once that rice begins to crack, you're going to have to stir this pot constantly until it's done. We're not going to put a lid on it. We're not going to cover it up and let it cook for 20 minutes. We're going to stir this thing until it's done. So you're going to have to stir it, and you hear that? That annoying sound? That spoon is going to need to drag the bottom of this pot lightly the entire time when this rice begins to crack, because if you don't, it's going to stick to the bottom. You're going to have a mess. So we're going to lightly drag the bottom. We're not just going to stir the top. All right, we've done just about all the good we can do. I'd say that took about 15 minutes, maybe 20. I'm not sure, but I can tell that the rice is cooked just about as much as it's gonna cook. We kept it stirred off the bottom the entire time, and you can see that you just about get some meat in every scoop. That's what we were looking for. It looked like we had a ton of meat to start with, but now all of a sudden it doesn't look like that. That's why you go with a little extra, especially if you're using boneless like we did. Got me a little spoonful right here. We're gonna try it. Man, that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Give this puppy one final stir. Now folks, this was seasoned with salt and pepper. That's all. I understand that there's 1,000 different things that you could have put in here, but what this is an old school South Carolina chicken bog. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. We're gonna let this rest for a minute, and then we're gonna eat. Catch y'all later.